Hello race fans and welcome to season 2020 episode 23 of the Pecino Report, the podcast that gets past the hype and gives you the lowdown on what's really happening in the MotoGP paddock. After a few weeks to gather our thoughts, last week it was all systems go for some insanity in Italy. I don't know why I was even surprised when we had yet another virgin on the top step of the podium, and I challenge anyone to tell me another rider more deserving of a maiden win than Frankie. So without further ado, it's a warm Pecino GP welcome to my co-host, my partner in crime, my sister from another mister. Speaking of virgins, Andra, how did your weekend go last weekend?
Do you become a virgin again after just a short period of time? What's the time difference?
Well,
I mean, what's the...
Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. I'm fantastic. And for those that are listening, if you want to see what we look like, you can jump over to YouTube.
Why would anybody want to do that?
We have a YouTube channel, the Pecino Report. So we've got all our podcasts up there, the audio. We've got our interview with Remy and Clara there on video. Nice. So Stu tonight, I think he's not wearing his pajamas for a change because possibly he knew the world might see him.
Exactly, yeah. I went with the Judge Dredd t-shirt this week.
People are now going to know if Manuel's on his yacht or if he's not.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yacht or not.
Nice. I didn't even mean to do that. I'm a very skilled person. But yeah, it's been a good week, and we've had a bit of a break because Manuel's been off doing his actual visiting the GP thing. So I've been hanging out for tonight to see my little mates and get on with it.
Indeed. And of course, this wouldn't be the Pecino Report without the man whose name is on the tin, the man himself, Mr. GP. Manuel, how are you, mate? How's Italy?
Hola. How are you, my dear colleagues, brothers, and call whatever you want, okay?
Virgins.
Yes. Well,
so how are you handling the return to travel around Europe, mate? What's it like?
First of all, I think we have to congratulate ourselves for our YouTube initiative. It sounds very good. Let's see, people can see us, and it sounds good. Fantastic idea, Andra.
And see how many beers we have in one recording. Sorry.
But anyhow, okay, look, for me, the experience after how many months, 5-6 months, I'm back on the track, back on the Grand Prix. And obviously the world has changed a lot, as we all know. It has been the first time they have allowed not only journalists get in, but also some spectators. And I have to say that the government, the politicians, here have been very brave, to risk to open the track to a certain number of people, because that for them is a risk. If it had went bad or wrong, it would have been a big mess for the politicians. But they really were brave, and I have to say that they did a fantastic job. Look, normally here in Misano, there are 100,000 spectators normally. They analyzed all the different tribunes grandstands they have here. They have a total of 18 grandstands, so they realized how many people can get in considering the right social distance. Okay,
Yep.
So the number at the end was 10,000. So it's not 100,000, but there are 10,000, right? And I have to explain you, the organization was fantastic. There were 700 marshals taking care of the people. The tickets, they were for the first time in Grand Prix with a name. How do you call it? Tickets named.
Personalized.
Personalized. So when you got the ticket, automatically you had an application on your mobile phone, where on this application there were 18 different routes to get into the track. Each grandstand has its own route to get in and to get out. And when you were guided to this grandstand. Entering every grandstand, there was a temperature control and an anti-terrorist control. They checked your bag. Okay, then they were seated. They were seated 2 meters each of other on the grandstand, and every grandstand had a big screen in front.
Wow.
Where people were constantly remembered about this. And then when the race finished, the grandstand where it was every grandstand like, wait, it's your turn. They were not all going out.
Right.
Wow, that's brilliant.
So they sequenced it. It wasn't like everybody could just walk out. They sequenced it.
No,
and
it
make sure
was.
everyone maintain the
Look,
distance.
we have to congratulate the people from the track
Yeah.
for this amazing performance, and also the politicians. For once,
Definitely.
the politician did something right. Okay, so very good, very good. And I think this weekend it will happen again. There are 10,000 every day, 10,000 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Obviously, the cost of the tickets are not cheap, but at least the first step. And this is, I think, fantastic. When people show their commitment, and I have to do something, and this can happen only in Misano, because you cannot imagine in which way people live here motorcycle racing. It's something incredible. Look, in any other part of the world, nor in Silverstone, nor in Spain, here they breathe motorcycle racing from 9 to midnight. It's incredible.
Are there many people outside the track?
No, because at the end there was no sense. There were these 10,000 and that's it. Why should the people be around? Okay. And something interesting, Valentino's fan club, they were at the doors giving these little flags and t-shirts to everyone who wanted to get.
Oh, cool.
I want one.
So that's I suppose that leads me into the first question I wanted to ask you. What was the atmosphere like? Obviously, it would have been much different to normal, but what was, I suppose, not just the atmosphere, your routine as well. You're used to going to these tracks week in, week out. What were the differences for you with those sort of things?
The routine was terrible because the paddock looks like an empty desert, if there is any desert full, but it's just a desert. It's funny because when you cross with people you normally stop to talk with, it's like, hello, and it's like, when you cross a plane when you are flying, it's like this,
And everyone's checking to make sure you don't get too close to each other and everything.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, ciao. But it's fun. The thing is to be here. And for me, it has been an effort to come here because from Spain, the airport, check control on the border, but at the end, to be here is much better than to be at home.
Indeed. And I'll explain to all our listeners and all our viewers at the moment as well. We probably didn't explain it at the beginning. Manuel is still in Italy. He's there for the race this weekend as well. And so he's recording this episode from the reception of his local hotel. So he's being a tourist right now within the bubble.
That's not all of his children in the background or someone else's.
At least that I know,
Yeah. Hey, they could be, Manuel.
They don't call me dad.
Not that you know of.
Are you my daddy?
Well, let's get straight into it.
Okay, yes.
The main thing I think that everyone is talking about right now, it's not just the winner, but I mean, like, amazing win from Frankie, but also the fact that the podium was made up entirely of the new generation of riders. Manuel, my question to you, have the students now become the masters here? Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, it was. Look, I still have goosebumps when I think about it. I know that I am a junkie of racing, but it was something amazing,
Yeah.
I would say that in 2 years' time, the picture of MotoGP will be completely different. In 2 years' time, there will be so many riders gone, and we are seeing the new arriving, and this is a weird change of generation, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Very weird.
It's healthy though, isn't it? It's really healthy to see.
It's the famous sentence, "This is life."
Exactly.
The famous sentence. But and as you said, the podium was amazing. 2 Italians, one that is half Italian, half Brazilian, one full Italian, and one Spaniard. And the three, each of them did an amazing race. Amazing. Frankie was the Quartararo in Misano. Remember the Quartararo of Jerez? Started and did. He played the role of Quartararo. Very good. Very interesting. And his change of mentality has worked out. I think we have spoken here in our previous podcast that Morbidelli, how do you say? He realized, he admitted, basically is the word, that last year he was overrun by the Quartararo experience, right?
Of course. Yep.
And he said that during the winter at home, I was thinking what had happened because he was mentally destroyed by Quartararo, right?
Yeah,
And
completely.
then he said, I have to work more. The key is always working more. He said,
stop partying and started focusing
exactly.
on...
Yeah, we saw that. He put on the side his Brazilian personality and focused. And at the end,
ones.
exactly. And at the end, it worked out. Then let's switch to Bagnaia. Bagnaia was for me the big hero. You hear right from the bike's own scratches, and he did a fantastic race coming. Look, I think in lap number 9, he was about 3.9 seconds behind the leader, who was Morbidelli. And he finished 2.2 something. But on his way up, he had to overtake Miller, Rins, Mir, Valentino. He had to overtake all these guys.
These guys aren't idiots. These are really strong riders. Yeah.
And with a bike that all the other riders with the same bike missed and had problems during the race. So
it seemed like a really hard track to overtake as well.
Yes. Look, tell how much it took for Rins to try to overtake Valentino Rossi. How much took Quartararo to overtake Viñales. But with Pecco, it seems that he had the perfect move, bang, bang. And the overtaking he did were in very fast corners. And this is extremely, extremely difficult. Extremely difficult because everything is, the overtaking were over 250, So that was so dangerous, and you have to have the thing so clear. And a mini fraction of a second can be the difference between the disaster and the success,
Exactly. So you've got to know what you're doing 3 corners beforehand with those sort of moves as well. So that's absolutely amazing.
So, chapeau to Bagnaia. Okay, and then brilliant. I have to say we come to our favorite, to my favorite.
Yes, Mia.
Look, the image I had of Jan Mir in the race. One of these dogs that bites and doesn't give up.
Doesn't let go.
So he was behind the group, right? And there he was not fast enough to overtake, but he was there like, you are not going to lose me. And then as soon as he had an opportunity, bang, bang. He take advantage of the failure of the others. And did you realize how he overtook Valentino? It was merciless,
It was. Killer. He came from so far back, he had no right to make that corner. That was amazing.
And it was absolutely killer instinct. But
it was.
With no mercy, no mercy there. What Rins didn't manage to do in 8 laps, he did in a lap.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
And it was just executed to perfection. As much as I was upset about it, but he did do well.
Look, I have a friend who is an architect who says to me, what can measured and what can measured cannot be discussed. Meaning, the only guy who has finished in top 5 every time he finished the race so far has been Mir. The 2 races he did not finish, he was knocked down. So the counting and the measurement says that the favorite to the championship is Joan Mir. And I tell you more, the Suzuki has been the only bike that has been competitive on all tracks.
Very true. It has indeed. Yeah, they seem to be finding a good blend between handling and pure speed.
Yeah, because we saw in Misano, and now we may switch to Yamaha. That Yamaha went from the hell of the Austrian circuits to heaven. They put the 4 bikes in the first position on the grid. So it was like, from black to white or from white to black. Call it however you want.
Exactly. No one saw that coming at all, did they?
And this shows how this championship is. Look, the winners, Oliveira, Binder, where were they this weekend? Nowhere.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, that's my next question. That is the elephant in the room. So realistically, as you say, Yamaha, they have gone from hell to heaven in just a couple of weeks. So if that's the case, then KTM have clearly done the opposite. As you say, 3 weeks ago, they were storming the castle, ready to steal the crown jewels we hardly saw them. So what happened? What's the inside line?
Well, the thing is, I expected much more of KTM in Misano because they had tested up to 3 times on that track. Tested.
Yes, yeah. We heard that Danny was there.
Danny was there in June.
Immediately after. Yeah,
No,
that's right.
He was first in June. Then he was immediately after the last race in Austria. So it seems that they had it under control. But the reality is that they completely failed. You know, the reason why, I think we have spoken this here in our podcast, when Binder won in Brno, okay, I spoke with Danny Pedrosa, who was in a hotel in Brno watching the races.
That's right. Yep.
And he told me, look, on tracks where traction is important, we will have problems. Our strong point is braking and entering the corner on the brakes. You know, the first part here, they needed traction to go out, and the bike didn't work like it should, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
We will see. I am very curious to see what happened in the second race here with the same scenario. What happens with the KTMs?
What was the go with the track? It looked really, because when I first saw it, oh my god, this track's magnificent. But then once I was watching the bikes, it was really bumpy and
very bumpy. Look, Nakagami said something incredible for a MotoGP rider. The Honda is a especially stiff bike, right? He said that over the bumps, when he went over the bumps, he almost lost his feel
grip
of the bike.
Far out.
And he said that he had to grip so much on the bike that he thought that he could not finish the race because after 10 laps, he was physically exhausted.
I tell you what, I reckon he was going to have to go and see a dentist after that race because it would have shaken his fillings loose, that's for sure.
But there's a few guys riding with injuries that must have impacted it so much.
Yeah.
Like your shoulder, hands.
Look at Pecco, jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Pecco must, I don't know, he had a broken
was it his collarbone?
No, it was a leg.
Yeah.
Other part of the body.
For him, it seemed not to be a problem, right?
Yeah,
but remember, well, you know what happened with Carl. Carl had an arm pump surgery.
Yeah.
I watched the video.
That was terrible.
The muscle moving and...
And it was the opposite. So he's just gotten out of having his scaphoid pinned, and then it's the opposite arm where he has to have the arm pump sorted out. It's absolutely terrible luck for the guy, really is.
Yes, and these MotoGP riders, we also have mentioned this. Look, for them, the pain is never an issue for not racing. So the pain is something that they just don't consider. It's incredible. You know? But if Carl has stopped, it's because he had a big risk of infection.
Yeah.
His how do you say, his wound was getting out fluid.
It was leaking, yeah.
Yeah.
That can't
body fluid all over the track.
Yeah, that's got to be good for you, surely. Yeah. So
if
you think... Go on,
sorry, I was just going to quick. I have to mention Remy Gardner quickly. I have to jump to Moto 2. Like, I know even with that crash that he had, and apparently he was like, "Nah, I'm going to race." Like he was like, "I don't care. I'm still going out there." Just.
And I know Remy watches, he listens to the show, so good on you, Remy, for trying to have a go. We'll see you out there real soon, mate. We look forward to it.
He was so fast too. He was so fast.
He was.
Yeah, anyway, I don't know if he will be fit for this weekend race. I can imagine he will, because for a rider not racing, I tell you, he must be with a foot in the thumb,
Oh, he'd be bouncing off the walls.
And he got up and walked, so I figured it can't be too
We
terrible.
will see. We will see. Well, terrible it is for us, not for them.
Can I jump way off track again? Because speaking about injuries, did Fabio's glove bite his finger?
Yeah, what was going on with that?
I don't know what happened.
Was that in one of the free practices?
He was riding along. Quali.
Oh, sorry, it was.
It was a quali too. He's riding along and he keeps looking down at his hand and doing this, like there was something wrong with his glove.
And then he went off the track, and the commentators were like, "Oh, maybe a bee stung him." I'm like, "There's no bee in your glove." And then they said it was something to do with maybe something in the glove. But like, he actually ran off the track because he was like, "Something's wrong with my finger." Did you not see it, Manuel?
No. I didn't follow that.
Oh, I'll find it and send you. There's got to be but we were just like, "What is he doing?" And he seriously ran off the track and took his glove off. And it's like something had bit his finger.
You know, another funny moment. Did you see when Viñales made the pole position? That he went like,
yes.
And then the
airbag went off.
That was,
that was the second one in Moto 2 as well. Didn't Luca Marini do the same thing?
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He did. That was 2 airbags.
That's brilliant. At least you know they work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So just quickly, I will circle back around on that. So Viñales. So for the benefit of everybody out there, we've been seeing in the media Viñales saying, "Oh, it's not the bike, it's not the tires. That's not what it is. I don't know what the problem is. I've tried to change my riding style 70 different ways, but this Yamaha doesn't work." Come on, Mr. GP, what's his problem?
Well, I don't know. Tell me which bike won the race. Was it what? KTM? Was it a BMW? Was it a Harley Davidson? No, it was a Yamaha.
A different paint job.
Look, for me, it's embarrassing to explain what for me is so clear because I am just a journalist and they have a lot of engineers in the garage, a lot of computers, people in Japan thinking and whatever. Mm-hmm. But look, what happened with Maverick is for me very simple. He used Friday and Saturday test sessions, right, to try different tire combination. Soft, hard, medium, Then it comes on Sunday morning during the warm-up, and he decides, if I'm not wrong, to use medium in the front and hard in the back. This combination he had not tried Friday or Saturday. And then
it's a terrible combination. Nobody else used a hard rear tire.
Exactly. But okay, then he says, okay, it's working. And he says, I'm going to use this for the race. That the 9 o'clock and this is 2 o'clock, 5 hours later. You know the track temperature between 9 o'clock when he tried this and 2 o'clock?
There's got to be 20 degrees difference at least. Yeah.
20 degrees difference. And it's another thing, as you said, no other riders of Yamaha use this combination. So who the hell is on Maverick sides giving him advices, or isn't there anybody who dares to say to Maverick,
no? This has happened a few times now, hasn't it?
That's right.
It happened in all races but one. In all races this season but the second in Jerez.
Yep.
So, and again, and then he comes out and says, I prefer not to talk because if not, I get in trouble.
What?
Well, clearly you haven't gotten in trouble enough, have you?
Oh my God.
And Valentino, who is a little
lovely
bastard, said very clearly when he was asked about Maverick's problem, he said, well, it's maybe down to the DNA of each rider. He said, he says Maverick is very fast in doing one lap and in practice. And then he says, I take the maximum out of myself Sundays afternoon. You know, like saying he's a Saturday rider, not a racer, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he did too. Valet had a great race. He had a it would have been good to see him be able to mix it with the young lads towards the end there, but I think he gave it all. He gave it all. He was, his fastest lap, I think, was lap 23 or 24. So he was giving it all. And then my super Joan Mir came and Yep. took him out. Indeed. So this weekend, tell me, what are you expecting out of this weekend?
Look, it's so weird that to have an idea. The only thing, and it's just an idea, is to look back who is so far better in the second races that are held in the same circuit. Okay. This is the only way. So, and this small history shows that, for example, better in the second races is Valentino, normally a little bit better. Mir is better in the second races.
Scary good.
The ones who are normally worst in the second races is Dovizioso. Viñales, they are slower. Yep. So, the only idea we can make is to go through these figures and see which is what has happened normally, but everything is so weird that you never know.
So what I'm hearing is Mia for the win next weekend.
Well,
I heard Valentino for the win.
wow.
Valentino for the podium, Mir for the win.
I think that the Yamaha will be still up there because you know what happens. The good thing of Yamaha in this track is that they go over the bumps very easy.
Yeah.
Because it's a long bike, so it's very stable. So when it gets over the bump, the digestion of these bumps are much easier for the Yamaha than for the others.
Yeah, indeed. Not like that Honda. That was absolutely terrible. I didn't even realize Honda was racing last weekend.
Nor did they, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought maybe they were doing the safety car job. They were the safety bike.
Hang on. Then I have interesting news. Marquez has returned to training.
Right.
Oh.
And his expectation, he wants to be back in Aragon.
In Aragon. Okay.
So pretty soon, you know?
Yep. Very, very soon indeed.
What do you think?
No, I think that if he has decided after what happens, he will come back with a certain safety, you know, but he wants to come back. That's a good news because there were completely different rumors coming from all sides, but now we can say that Mark is on his way back.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Is he going to win when he comes back? I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past the guy, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, look. Good question, because I was just thinking, Aragon is one of the favorite tracks of Marquez. He has won there every time.
Yep.
So he knows where he's coming back, you know?
He's doing it on purpose.
And there are 2 races in Aragon.
Exactly. So he wants to walk away with 50 points.
We'll see.
Indeed.
It's all different to what he thinks because it's changed just since he's been off.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, Manuel, Andra, thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. Manuel, it's been wonderful catching the insights of what's actually going on at the track. It's been great. We've been enjoying watching it on the telly, but to talk to you and hear what the feeling's like on the track and what's going on behind the scenes has been absolutely wonderful. And
I think I saw Manuel's butt in the window when they showed where the journalists are up above the bike thing.
Yeah, we were like monkeys in a cage. And hang on, by you being Aussies, we have to talk about Mr. Miller, no?
Quickly,
just before leaving.
We'll talk about Mr. Miller. Yeah, he had a very good start. Yeah, I predicted he'd get the whole shot and be up there with the lead pack, and he was. He had a very, very good start.
But I have to push Jack's ear, because his comment after the race were not very, let's say, intelligent, because he said that it was very difficult to beat the riders from the VR46 Academy because they basically ride in this track every week.
That's right. I did hear that comment. Yeah.
But Jack should look how many riders finished in front of him who were not from the VR46.
Yeah.
So Jack, well, I think that we can discuss this with Jack next week when we have our chat with him. We expected to have it this week, but we will have a chat with Jack probably on Tuesday next week.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, Beautiful. We'll make sure we ask him that and lots of other questions. And for any of the listeners out there or the viewers on YouTube, if you've got some questions you want us to ask Jack, put them in the comments. Let us know.
Yes.
Indeed. Andra, have you got some messages, some information for the listeners and viewers out there before we head off?
I do, and if you want to know where to message us, we're on Instagram. I'm on there as Andra_the Pecino Report. Stu is quickdraw_73. First time I've got it right.
Woohoo!
We are now on YouTube, the Pecino Report. So jump on there and have a look. You can check out Stu's pajamas next time or something.
Yeah,
actually, Stu, can you stand up? Are you wearing pants? Show us.
Nope, not standing up.
Manuel. Shit. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, please rate us, share us, tell your friends about us, message us. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Indeed.
And Manuel,
where can they find all the latest news and gossip from you?
Well, like always on pecinogp.com. If there is an English version, and if you want to learn some Spanish, there is also pecinogp.es. There you can find what you can't read anywhere else. Some things are true, some are not that bad.
And it's educational as well. There you go. Indeed.
It's about putting it out there and letting people analyze it and think about it.
That's exactly
Very
what it's
good.
about.
Thank you, Andrea.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. We'll make sure we're looking up at those windows on the coverage again, Manuel. Make sure you press your face up against there when the cameras go past and give us all a big wave.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
All right.
See you next week.
Guys. Bye. See you next week. Bye. And we're done.